Hi everybody, it's Christina and thank you for joining me today. So I'm sorry I've been absent for a little while, but I've not been very well. Now I'm feeling much better and I'm ready to do a video again. So for all these cards I have created this background and it looks like plaid. And the item that I've used to create this background is the Clever Cuts Offset Background die set. So this die set comes in 3 pieces. I haven't used the outer piece, I've just used the one that creates the stripes. Now if you look at it, this one has small stripes but big gaps. So if you put that on your, and I've just used ordinary craft card, if you put that on the middle of your card, it cuts it into the card and not out of. So that now gives me a stencil. And with this one I've done the same, but this will leave me the wider scraps. Now whatever you do, don't throw these pieces away, because you can always stamp a sentiment on these and that will make another a little label for your card. You can also layer them together. The thinner one goes on top of the thicker one and that will create another pattern for you. But I'm just going to use these now as stencils. So I've just taken some A4 card and I've just cut it in half, and for that will give me 2 pieces. I will probably cut these down again to either A6 or 5x7, but at the moment they are A5 size. So I'm going to start with the thicker stripes and I'm going to fasten this piece to my table. I'm just going to use some low tack tape and we'll just fasten that down so that it can't move. Now to the top of that I'm going to add my stencil, and it will be trimmed down again, so don't worry about any excess bits that you have over the side. Just add your stencil to your card and tape it down. Now if you've got a sticky mat, that's even better, but I don't have one. All I've got is my my tape. So we've taped that down. Now you need to select the favourite colours that you like to use the best. So I've created a little hinge at the top so that I can lift my stencil up as I need to, and the rest of the card is taped down to the glass mat. So I've chosen Wilted Violet, Blueprint Sketch and Peacock Feathers, and I'm going to blend these onto my mat. So we'll take the Peacock Feathers first and we'll start at the top and we'll just blend these in. Now don't worry about it being blotchy, it will dry a lot smoother. And you're not going to see that much of it because the other colours will be added to the card. So that's one colour added. Now I think we'll go to the lilac one. And this is Wilted Violet. So we'll add this here and we'll blend it over the top of the other one. So that the colours blend nicely together. And then we'll come to the blue and we'll add the blue at the bottom. So once you've done that, now you can lift your card up, your stencil up, and that's what you've got on your card. So now I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to turn it round. Now I need to make sure that it's lying straight under my stencil. And we'll just add a little bit of tape on the edge of that now, just to keep that in place. And I'm going to use the same 3 colours, and I'm going to do the same thing coming down the card. And once you've trimmed that down, you want it, you'll have a really pretty background for your cards. So let's do another one in a different colourway. So I'm still going to use the same piece of craft card, and again I've lifted it up with the hinge. Once more I've taped a piece of white card to the glass mat, and now I can bring this down and cover my card. So this time we're going to use wilted violet and picked raspberry. So there's our pattern underneath. This is still taped to the table, that's still hinged at the top. Now we're going to take in the thinner one, and we're going to place that so that it's onto the stripes, like so. Now this will be cut down, so don't worry about any bits that are left over. And again we're going to fasten this one to the card, to the table. Now this time we're going to use a different colour, and we're going to blend over that again. So this time I'm using mustard seed, and I'm just going to go down the stripes and blend that in. Now this is giving us all stripes one way, but when we lift that up, that is the pattern that we have. Now if you want to, you can turn the card around, and again make sure that the pattern is in the stencil. Now that's more straight than the other one. Mind your nose, Ella. So I've turned my card around again. I'm still using the thinner stripes. This time I'm going to blend in some more of the wilted violet. So now when we lift it up, it will look completely different. So this is the first one we did that's now dry, and that's the second one. So let's try something a little bit different for the next one. For this next one I've laid my card at an angle. I'm going to bring my stencil back in, and this is the wider one again. And this time I'm going to blend in some colours coming down the card. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing, blending the 2 colours down the card. This time I'm using Evergreen Bough and Blueprint Sketch, and while I do this I'm going to speed things up. So I've chosen to go down my stripes on both sides, going both directions with the black pen. Now I've made a bit of a mess there because my ruler slipped, but once I've cut my pattern out, you really won't notice that bit, and I can always hide that with a sentiment, or I can place it more in the middle and hide it with some flowers, but that's going to get cut out with this circle. So I've taped my white card down just the same, but this time I'm using the thinner stripes to my my stencil. I have some Spice Marmalade and Vintage Photo. So let's just add these in now, and we'll do these in a random fashion. Now for this one we'll use Kitsch Flamingo and Squeeze Lemonade. And the other one that I did with the brown and the orange is this one. Very masculine. I don't really like this, but I'm not going to waste it. I'll cut it into a shape and use it on my cards. So these are the backgrounds that I have. I've also cut a mat to sit this one on. I'm going to cut the others into shapes and we'll make those into some cards. So once you've cut out your shapes, or you've added the mats to your cards, you can decorate them any way you want. Now if you remember, this is the one that I didn't like, but I've cut the heart out of it and used it on this card, and I've just used the backing on this one and just dressed it up with some flowers, and now I don't think that's too bad. So for these I'm going to use any leftover bits that I've got on my desk, and I'm going to add in some flowers and some leaves. Now the leaves have been cut from glitter card, but you can use anything that you have in your own stash. So these will be added to this card, and these will be added to this one. So I'm using this in landscape, and I'm just going to add in the leaves. And the little sprigs. And we'll add some gold sprigs into that one as well. So these are gold glitter sprigs, these. And these are just some craft card. And then on the top of that one, I'm just going to add in one flower. This one's got 3 in it, so these just need to be trimmed off before I can glue those in place. I need to cut a sentiment for this one, and then I'll come back to you and show you the finished cards. So there we have 6 really pretty cards created with backgrounds that I've created. Don't throw away these bits that you have left over. You can always use those on another project. So the items I've used have been the offset background for the Clever Cuts collection, and I've created stencils. Now these stencils are just made from craft card, and I can use these over and over again. I've used the leaves from the Rose Flourish, and I've used the sentiments from the Special Words collection. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please join me on the next one. And why not subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and then you'll always be aware when I add a new video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.